So for amps, we're gonna go around 125 amps. Hey everybody, Kyle here with Spicer Designs. Damn, this stuff's heavy. New tools for the shop, coming in hot. Uh-oh, that can't be good. Welcome back to the channel. Heavy. That's why I didn't make it onto the table. I should have set it on there nicely, like someone with common sense. Well, as long as everything's intact here, we can go ahead and talk about what we got. All right, let's start with the little box. Okay, what we have here is a foot pedal. It's all still intact. Got a very nice business card. And the big boy. Yep. All right, here we've got all of our ground clamps, stinger, TIG torch, all kinds of accessories. They even give you a regulator, that's pretty nice. And the key to the operation. Yeah. Please hold. Keystone Girl got me some chicken nuggets. What a sweetie. Now this is the Arc Captain TIG 200P, and this is an AC and DC inverter style TIG welder. You can also stick weld with it. Pretty nice machine. Now the inverter style welders are all the new craze. I don't know all the specifics on it, but I know that any inverter style anything, whether it's a generator or a welder, you're typically gonna get just a cleaner, better output on your power, and it's just a more efficient machine. But if you want to learn more about the inverter style welders, I suggest you Google it. Now the great thing about this TIG 200P AC/DC unit is that it can also weld aluminum, which was a big reason that I wanted to upgrade to this versus my beginner TIG welder, the Weaver. That was only a DC unit, and you need AC to TIG weld aluminum. The other cool thing on the Arc Captain box, it shows you what the internals of the inverter style welder look like. Of course, right here, you have your 4 Canooter valves and then your flux capacitor, which of course is what makes time travel possible. Pretty cool. Full disclaimer, I want to set a couple things straight right from the beginning. I am not a professional TIG welder. I've only TIG welded a couple of times. This video isn't going to be pro tips on TIG welding. This video is going to be more about what you can expect as a beginner TIG welder, because I am myself. There's a nice shade of red, I gotta say. I've only TIG welded a couple times on mild steel with my budget Weaver DC welder, so this Arc Captain is going to be a very nice upgrade. And along with that, I've never used a foot pedal before. And so there's no confusion, the Arc Captain welder was not in the box when I threw it. The last video I did where I beat the shit out of the welder, it was that Weaver budget welder. I smashed the crap out of it, and I got a ton of dislikes on that video because people thought it was actually in the box. There's no way it would have survived that, but I guess I sold it pretty well. So just want to straighten that one out. Ah, shit. Well, looks like I'm buying a new door opener button. Damn it. All right, enough screwing around. Let's get this thing plugged in and hooked up, and we'll talk about some of the features and what this thing can do. All right, let's take a look at everything they give us in the box. Of course, we have the TIG 210P AC/DC welder. The welder comes with your typical welding plug. Also comes with all of the gas hose that you need and a regulator, which this is really nice. I had to buy this separate from my last TIG welder. Comes with your TIG torch. Comes with all your collets and different size stems and a couple different size cups as well. Of course, you have your ground clamp and you have a stinger for stick welding. They give you a wire brush. They also give you the 110 adapter in case you do not have 240 volt in your shop or wherever the hell you're using it. And the foot pedal. I've never used a foot pedal before, so I'm interested to see how bad I am at this. Now what we're gonna do today is I'm going to just practice on this machine doing some TIG welding on some mild steel. We're not gonna be touching on the AC settings yet. I need to get a little bit more prepared and do a little bit more research before I start welding aluminum. I'd also like to get the ventilation system set up in my shop before I do that as well. And like I mentioned, I am still learning. I'm very new to TIG welding. So if you are a professional TIG welder, if you have any suggestions or pro tips, we'd all love to know what you have to say. So you can go ahead and share that in the comments. The whole idea of this Arc Captain TIG welder is that it is a somewhat budget friendly. It's not super cheap like the Weaver, but it's also not super expensive like what you're gonna spend on a Hobart or a Lincoln or a Miller. And this is great for what I use it for. The occasional TIG welds in the shop, kind of hobby use. I mean, you could use it as a professional too. The great thing about Arc Captain is they are a welder company. My Weaver welder, they sell everything and anything. I mean, you can buy a car jack, you can buy a refrigerator on there. Where with Arc Captain, they are focused on welding accessories. So I could definitely see this being a much better, more precise machine. It's probably gonna last longer, customer service, it's gonna be better, parts availability, all that stuff. It's just a better fit. All right, we're gonna connect our TIG torch into the negative terminal. It's just a cam lock. This is for our argon gas. When you're TIG welding, it's gonna be straight argon. The TIG torch they send does have a thumb switch. It's just on or off, but we're gonna be using the foot pedal, so we're not gonna plug this in. Then of course we have our ground clamp. Get this plugged in on the positive terminal. Then we're gonna take our foot pedal and we're gonna plug that in to that blue plug. Now on the back of the unit, we're gonna be hooking up our regulator and the hose that they send for the argon gas. Then we've got our 100% argon bottle. Yeah, buddy. Slide this out of the way. The last thing, we're gonna plug this thing in to my 240 volt welding receptacle. I have a 30 amp feed going to this. Now everything's about hooked up. All I have to do is get the TIG torch all put together. I am going to be using a red tungsten. This is 2% thoriated tungsten and it is 3/32 in diameter. And I will leave a chart right here, which gives you all the different types of tungsten. And then we can get that gas regulator all tuned in. It should be right around 20 CFH, which is cubic feet per hour. Now there was something that initiated me to look for a better, more quality TIG welder. Even though I'm new to it, I have a project that I've been planning even before we moved down to this new property, and that is the ultimate welding cart. I bought a tool chest a while back, and I plan on transforming it into the ultimate welding cart, and I wanted a TIG welder that I knew I would be using long-term, better quality, and the Arc Captain was my choice. So I reached out to Arc Captain, got in touch with them, and they were nice enough to send this unit out to me to try out and to keep. So thank you, Arc Captain. I'm pretty excited about using this welder to sharpen my TIG welding skills and get better at it. It's something I've always wanted to do. So if you want to see that ultimate welding cart video, make sure that you subscribe so you catch that video. It's going to be hopefully in the next month or so, and I am going to do some really cool shit on it. And like always, I will have a link for this welder and their website down in the description. I will also have a 5% off discount code for you so you can save some money. And that discount code is Spicer Designs. I'll also have that information in the description as well. All right, I have the TIG torch all set up. Again, 3/32, 2% thoriated tungsten. And I'm using a number 6 cup. The thumb switch is not connected. We are using the foot pedal. Now the foot pedal will allow you to control the amperage. It's got like a variable setting there. I've never used it before, so I'm probably gonna suck at it. All right, let's finally turn this thing on. It's a lot of horsepower. Well, it's got a really nice display on it. Don't know how to use it, but we'll figure it out. Now the nice thing about this Arc Captain welder, which most welders have this, is it's got a nice setup guide chart right here on the side. So if you're welding with aluminum or steel or stainless steel, all your different material thicknesses, what size tungsten you're using, what tungsten color you're using, amperage, filler metal, pre-flow, post-flow, torch cup size, gas flow rate, it gives you all that information. So we're gonna be welding on 1/8 inch mild steel, 3/32, 2% thoriated rod, number 6 cup, and we're gonna be using some ER70S-6 mild steel filler rod. I will also have Amazon links for the filler rod and the tungsten in the description. We're gonna use it in 2T mode, which As long as that foot pedal or trigger is pressed, it will have an arc, and then once you let go, the arc will stop. Pulse, no. I believe that is when it pulses the amperage for you to create like that coin effect. So for amps, we're gonna go around 125 amps. That's what the chart says for the max on 1-inch plate. Pre-flow, 0.4. Amps, 125. Post-flow, it says to go to 6. So there's our 3 settings for DC TIG welding. All right, we're gonna check for flow here. Should be around 20 CFM. Looks good. And then our post-flow is like 6 seconds and it should go back down. There it goes. Now, one thing that I noticed is very important technique to practice. You don't even have to get your TIG welder out. Basically what the idea is, you don't want to hold the filler rod in one spot and move your hand closer to the weld. You want to actually work it with your fingers as you're moving along and keep your hand in that same spot. It is kind of tricky because you're trying to focus on that puddle and you're trying to feed it at the same time. I think it's just something you got to practice at. Okay, here we go. Well, that was pretty damn smooth. I'll tell you what, this thing makes like no noise. I know, I'm sure when I start using it for a little bit, the fan's gonna kick on, but these inverter style welders are really nice, and they're a lot lighter than the transformer style welders too. Pretty excited about this thing, I gotta say. And you'll notice here, my trusty little magnetic TIG holder right here. It also works with the with your MIG gun. I'll leave links for this in the description as well, because when I did start TIG welding a little bit, I noticed that I was always trying to set this in a spot where I didn't damage that point on the tungsten. So this is kind of a must-have in my opinion. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna try this with the filler rod now. You can see I got my cell phone rig set up here with a welding lens. Kind of a shitty setup. I'm guessing that they sell some kind of an attachment where you could put an actual lens on your cell phone or your camera. So I'll look into that because this is kind of stupid. Here we go. Well, I definitely suck at it, but it wasn't too bad. I think I screwed up at the end and I let off the foot pedal too quick. I think I was supposed to taper off the amperage because I got like a little hole in the end of that weld. So I'll have to work on that. But my shield gas looks pretty decent. All right, there it is. Not very good, but it's not horrible. That machine is super smooth, that's for sure. And when I press on that foot pedal, I can see that arc get bigger, and when I let off, I could see it get smaller. So it's really cool to be able to have that kind of control. Definitely need to get used to it, but it's nice. So anyways, you can see here I got, you know, a nice little build up here of weld. The shield gas looks pretty decent except for this crap right here. I don't know what the hell that is. And I think I let off the pedal too quick right here. I should have tapered off it slowly. I think that that's why there's a hole right there. So I'll try another pass and try that differently and see what happens. I think I was holding the arc a little too far away, it looks like. I need to get a little closer. That's probably why that shield gas got up. All right, okay, this is good. It's like instant replay. Now I gotta set this piece of up again. Here we go, Jerry Rig. There's actually a channel, Jerry Rig. I subscribed to him. It's pretty good. Jerry Rig everything. Freaking amazing. Okay, attempt number 2 with the filler rod. Oh yeah. Oh, so stupid. Here we go, meow. All right, I'm gonna hold my arc tighter and I'm gonna slowly release at the end of the puddle there. Establish a puddle here. More power. There we go. More power. Okay, we got a little bit of a puddle going here. Let's see if we can move along. Dip.
move, dip, move, dip, move, dip, move. I'm trying to let off the pedal a little bit as I move and then press back again when I use the filler rod. I'm gonna try release slow.
Okay, that actually looked pretty damn decent for sucking at TIG welding. It's not that bad. I mean, I'm sure if a professional looked at it, they'd probably say it sucked, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, so attempt number 2, not too shabby. I still got some weird shit going on right here. I don't know what that is, but I did tighten up my arc a little bit right here. And I also let off that pedal a little bit slower, and it looks like I don't have a hole on this one. So I think that was the ticket there. Okay, now that we've got a couple of half-assed passes just on the flat piece of mild steel, I want to try to do like a lap joint. So we're gonna try that with just a piece of scrap steel that I have in the shape of the letter D. This actually was from my Ridgecrest sign. Got f***ed up. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I don't know. Who cares? This is such a pain in the ass. It's all about getting the shot.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. There we go.
All right, let's take a look at this one. I felt like I was doing a job. When I got started here, you can see I kind of goofed that up. And then it actually looks pretty consistent as I moved along here. That doesn't look too bad. All right, now I do want to try one more test. It's going to be kind of like a T-joint, but a rounded T-joint. To do that, I'm going to use D's nuts. D's nuts. I've been using the D's nuts thing a lot lately, and it's kind of fun. Anyways, I want to be able to weld that joint on a curved area as well, so I can kind of follow around that curve. Just be a good little test. Now, one nice thing I have learned so far about TIG welding is it's a little bit more forgiving on your start and stops, and there's literally like no splatter at all, which is really nice as well. There's nothing I hate worse than having splatter in a weld, especially when guys leave it there and then they just paint over it. I think that's horse shit. All right, I had to stop because my little contraption here was in the way. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this weld, and I'm gonna try another one, and we'll see how it all looks in the end. All right, well, that was pretty good practice. I wanted to practice on having two objects somewhat close together where I had to kind of maneuver around them. It's good to practice in some harder situations. So yeah, I got a nice overlap weld right here. I did a couple of just straight passes out in the open. Then I have a couple of nuts here that, well, son of a bitch. Well, I didn't realize it, but this thing looks like a big old
pecker!
Oh, where?
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Well, that just came out of nowhere, I guess. I don't know. Wasn't planning on that. That's a big boy right there. I mean, some people would call this art. Very inspiring. Need some bigger nuts, really. Now, one thing that I noticed on that Weaver welder is I was having a lot of warpage on the steel, definitely due to inexperience, which I'm still inexperienced at it. But I didn't feel like I did anything different with this TIG welder, the Arc Captain, but I don't have any warpage on this thing. I got really good penetration because I could see it coming through the backside, but nothing is warped. It's all straight as an arrow still. And I think that maybe had a lot to do with that foot pedal. I was actually kind of pulsing that foot pedal, where as I was moving the puddle, I would back off a little bit. I guess every little bit where you give that weld a chance to cool probably helps with warping, I don't know. So overall, I would say that this Arc Captain TIG welder gets me a lot more excited about TIG welding again. Even a beginner like myself, I noticed a huge difference between the $200 Weaver welder and this Arc Captain. Now this Arc Captain TIG 200P comes in under $700. I think it's like 670 or 80 bucks. And then the foot pedal is only like $70. So for this whole setup that I have right here, you're looking at around 750 bucks. And this is something that you can start off with, or you can run your business with this thing. The nice thing about Arc Captain is they are an actual welding company. They specialize in welders, plasma cutters, welding accessories. They've got everything you need. Again, I'm not trying to sell you on Arc Captain, but I'm very impressed with this thing so far. It's my first time using it, So if you want to see more on this welder, make sure you subscribe. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Well, when I put the D on the end of it, kind of looks a lot like a wiener. Didn't mean to do that, but it is kind of funny. Oh, bitch. Oh, Beaver Ace. Damn it! Fucking Ring doorbell. God. Take two. Too bad they didn't give welders away in the kids' meals. Be a sweet deal.